Hi, welcome back to Things in My Head. This is a supplemental audio file that I wanted to include with our show on Story Musgrave, because during the interview of our show, I was really only able to ask him a couple of questions after his presentation that he gave to the students at Texas State Technical College. He was very tired, and we were going into dinner, and fortunately, my husband and I were part of a group that was invited to have dinner with Dr. Musgrave. So during that dinner, he was gracious and not only expounded on the first question that I had asked in the interview, but he also graced us with a couple of stories talking about how to find mountains from space and sleeping in the space shuttle. And I thought that it would be something that maybe you would be interested in hearing. Now, remember that this audio file is from a very large banquet room, and he is at the front of the banquet room with no microphone. So the recording is a little bit, it's hard to hear at times, but if you listen closely, you're going to hear some of his experiences from the space shuttle and from space. So here we are, Story Musgrave.
The first knower as good as the last. People always ask about the first because they assume they're going to get jaded. You know, the second, third, fourth going to go downhill because I've been there, I've done that, and you don't even pay attention like the kid on slide one. So the first is just jumping in the water and find out what it's about, so next time you can do better. Not just do better in terms of the checklist and the performance, but do better as a spaceflight observer to have a better experience. So first time around is just you've gotten some reports and you've seen some multimedia, some, stuff what it's about, but you have to be there. It's just mostly big wide eyes. Every mission gets much better, and you know what to look for. We're flying over the Himalayas. They get the cameras ready. They got to photograph Everest, not just let them. But they can't find Everest. I know a few revs downhill we're going to do it again. But they need to learn that they can't find Everest, and you have to prepare ahead of time. I can't find Everest either. So, but I learned. First flight, I can't find Everest. I'd like to see Everest. So I learned, well, I can't. So, but believe me, my second flight, I found Everest because all the mountain peaks are the same. All the lakes have their own particular shape and size. So I find Everest on the map. I go look at the lakes. That lake and that lake, I draw a line. So there you go. When I go up in space, the Himalayan plateau, here's the lakes, draw a line. And the ratio of the distance between the two lakes is this many hops. There's Everest. So that's one little example. You got to want to have an experience. You've got to try. So my very first night up there, everyone's putting their sleeping bags on the floor. That's where you're supposed to sleep. You're supposed to sleep on the floor. But I said, man, it took me all the time to get here. I put my bag in the ceiling. So I got my crew down there and their bag and my bag up there. So I thought I was being a real explorer. But I wasn't. As soon as I slipped in the bag, the world turned upside down, and my buddies were on the ceiling, not me. Because you see, you have to know the gravitational direction. And 100% of all spacecraft geometries, except for one part of Skylab, is 1G oriented with a ceiling and a floor. And so this dictates the gravitational direction. Even NASA tell me a story. It's free fall condition. There is no up and down. Yes, sir, there's an up and down. 8.5 minutes of riding a rocket does not do away with 4 billion years of evolution. I got to know this direction. It's very important to me. But a sleeping bag becomes a physical stimulus, so you slide in the bag and it kind of grabs you. Well, every time you slide in bed, the bed is down that way, and so the sleeping bag dictated the gravitational direction, so the whole world swung around. So I'm on the floor. See, gravity turned around, so I was not so courageous. After a while, going head first in the bag, what can I do with the bag? I ran out of the bag, I threw it away. And so now I just tie my belt somewhere. And so I'm sleeping on my belt. And after a while, I gave it up. I just went to sleep and float in the air. So